it actually be such a bad thing if a million-person pro-Palestine march took place on Armistice Day? Memorials were damaged, anti-Semitic offences occurred, there were calls for jihad, and one of the most significant weekends in the British national calendar was desecrated. Well, obviously, the answer to that is yes. However, there are some interesting takes on this, like from Matt Goodwin, regular here on GB News, who said this: I say let the pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas march on Remembrance Day weekend go ahead. Let the people hear the chants. Let the people see the damage to sacred monuments. Let them see how ungovernable our multicultural society is becoming. Let them see how the toxic combination of mass migration and woke identity politics is weakening our nation. Only then will they grasp how broken we really are and how much we need an alternative to the old parties. I thought it was quite an interesting take. People may not agree with that, but some people might. People might say this is all whataboutery, OK? That everything could be peaceful and respectful and it'll all be fine. And I'm sure that we all genuinely hope that it is. I hope that the protesters realise that it will be fatally damaging to their cause if they actually turn up at all, but moreover, if they kick off. But what do we know about the protests so far? Well, we know there have been calls for jihad and Muslim armies. We know that there have been arrests for alleged racial offences. We know that the Met Police have issued pictures of more people they wish to speak to. We know people have supported Hamas. We know people have committed acts of criminal damage. And we know that this is now happening with increasing regularity. What I also think people should know is that we here at GB News bothered to call and speak to one individual who is helping to organise just some of the transportation of people to London on Armistice Day. And we asked him directly if he cared about Armistice Day. He didn't appear to, certainly didn't say he did. We asked him directly if he would be observing a minute's silence, and he just hung up the phone. We did also put it to him what he'd do if people turned up to the transportation to the capital on Remembrance Weekend with things like banners supporting Hamas, etc. And he said he'd take them off them, which is fair enough in a way, but that's not the same thing as not actually helping to transport them here, is it? I think that's very telling, isn't it? I think that's a vital piece of insight there. So it is reasonable to suggest that if the protests go ahead, that kind of behaviour will happen, and then we'll have to deal with the fallout from that. But where's the leadership on this? Well, Rishi Sunak issued a statement saying that he'd support the Home Secretary and the Met Police to do whatever necessary to preserve Remembrance Weekend. All right, well, my take on that is that he's palmed it off. If something goes wrong, it's on Suella or the police. That isn't true leadership, Rishi, and possibly part of the reason you're in the mess you're in. Where's Keir Starmer? Well, of course we know, don't we? He's busy taking off his poppy to address the British Muslim population. Where's Sadiq Khan? Well, he's on Twitter, talking about creative industries, the environment, and ironically, multiculturalism and diversity. It is our politicians' fault that Britain is in this mess, that the circumstances surrounding multiculturalism and integration exist. They caused this, they let us down, and they're letting us down again. Our powerful politicians in this country are, in my book, utterly useless. It is also utterly useless trying to appeal to the better nature of anybody thinking of protesting over the Remembrance Weekend. They're going to do it unless they're physically stopped, so that's not happening, is it? Anybody who truly felt British wouldn't. Not on that weekend, but there we go. We are where we are, as pen pushers in middle management like to say. I hope it doesn't kick off. But if it does, it will mark a seismic moment in Britain. It will be the day that softly, overly optimistic pro-multiculturalism ideology dies forever. And people will have to face up to the monster that they've created. My message to people thinking of taking part in marches or demonstrations on Remembrance Weekend would be this. If you're doing something that makes Hezbollah, Hamas and the Iranian National Guard very happy, do you think that maybe, just maybe, you're on the wrong side of this one?